Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I have this algebra question to work on. We are solving for x. Now I invite you to attempt the question before watching the video. Looking at the left hand side here, you realize that expansion is not the way to go. So there has to be something that should be done for us to be able to solve this equation. So what would it be then? Now looking at the numbers inside the brackets, we have 1, 3, 5, 7. They are showing us that there's a pattern here that we can see. And therefore, again, if we look at 3 plus 5, it will be 8. 1 plus 7 will be 8 also. So maybe the best approach is to combine, put the two brackets together and those two brackets together. We start from there and then see how we can manipulate the left-hand side so that we obtain a much simpler equation to solve. So the approach would be as follows. Remember, we are solving for x, and the equation we have is x plus 1, and then we have x plus 3, then we have x plus 5, and then we have x plus 7. This is equal to 9. So like I was saying, maybe the approach would be x plus 1 combined with x plus 7, put them together, and then x plus 3 and x plus 5 together equals 9. Now, like I said, 1 plus 7 is 8, and 3 plus 5 is 8 also. So maybe the approach would be obtaining one bracket out over here and one bracket there. Maybe it will be easier to do it. So how do we do it? Well, the approach is to look at 1 and 7 and write them in terms of one constant expression. So what would be the expression? Where 1 plus 7 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we transform this part here and that part as follows. Watch this. So this is going to imply we have, allow me to use square brackets now. I'm going to have x plus 4. Remember, 1 plus 7 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. X plus 4, and then I'm gonna say minus 3. That is x plus 1. And then I must do the same here. X plus 4, but I have to say plus 3 here now because I have 7 there. This side here, I'm gonna want to express it in terms of x plus 4 as well. So if you check, this part here can be written as x plus 4, and then I'm gonna say minus 1 because I have 3 there. What about this part? I'm gonna have to say x plus 4 and then plus 1 because I have 5 there is equal to 9. Now look at how beautiful this looks. So now I can let x plus 4 be equal to k. So what do I get? Well, this equation now becomes, watch this, k minus 3 in one bracket, and then k plus 3, another bracket. Coming over here, we have k minus 1, and then we have k plus 1. Now you can see that we now have difference of 2 squares there and difference of 2 squares here. So then we can transform this equation as follows. This is going to be k squared minus 3 squared is 9 in one bracket. The other bracket will be k squared minus 1. Remember, difference of 2 squares. K minus 3, k plus 3, k minus 1, k plus 1. You know you can write this in that form, write that in that form, equals 9. Now, at least we have achieved what we wanted, but then still we have k to the power 2 there. So if we let k squared be equal to some number m, coming over here, this equation can be transformed further to m minus 9 in one bracket, the other bracket m minus 1, and this is equal to 9. Now we can expand this. It's easier to expand now. Expanding, remember how we do it, like that, and then like this. So that will be m squared minus m minus 9m plus 9 is equal to 9. Remember, m squared minus m, and then minus 9m plus 9 equals 9. Taking us to the next page, page 2. Let me put the papers in order here. So what do we have now? What we have now is, if you check, we're going to have m squared minus 10m. Remember, minus m minus 9 is minus 10m. Bring 9 to the left. to write this in standard form, you're going to have this. Remember that 9 will be minus or subtract 9 from both sides. How does this equation transform? It gets transformed into m squared minus 10m is equal to 0. Now factorizing, you can see the common factor is m. M into m squared is m into minus 10m is minus 10, and this is equals 0. When two numbers multiply to give you a product of 0, either one is 0 or the other is 0 or both are 0. So we're going to say here, therefore, either m equals 0, that m, or m minus 10 equals 0. Solving here, there's nothing we can do, m equals 0. So here, this gives us m equals 10. So we move in the reverse direction now. But what is m equal to? K squared. So we're going to say, therefore, k squared is equal to 0, or k squared equals 10. Remember, k squared equals m. So here, solving for k, taking square root both sides, is equal to square root of 0, and obviously k equals 0. Over here, k will be equal to, if you take square root both sides, plus or minus square root of 10. Now we're not done, we're moving back. What is k? K is x equal x plus 4, giving us k. So we're going to say, therefore, x plus 4 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals plus or minus square root of 10. Solving this, you get x equals minus 4, or x equals minus 4 plus or minus square root of 10. Let me rewrite this. Therefore, x equals minus 4, or x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus square root of 10. Now we need to check these solutions if they are correct. I'm going to check this one and one of these two. Remember, we have two solutions here. I'm going to check one, and then I'm going to leave the other one for you to check it. Moving this to page 3. Moving it to page 3. So like I said, I'm going to have to check the solutions. Remember where we're coming from? That's the equation which we need to check. And we're saying the values of x are x equals minus 4, or x equals minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 10. So let's take our equation again. We have the equation x plus 1 in one bracket, the other bracket x plus 3, another bracket x plus 5, another bracket x plus 7. This equals 9. So we're going to say, checking, like I said, let me put checking on top there. Not necessary, but just to check, to give you confidence that these answers are actually correct. So I'm going to say x is equal to, let me remove this, x is equal to minus 4. And we look at the solution, what happens on the left hand side. So we're going to say when x is equal to minus 4. Remember one of our solutions here, x equals minus 4. What does the left hand side give us? Left hand side gives us, we're taking minus 4 into the place of x on the left, minus 4 plus 1, minus 4 plus 3, minus 4 plus 5, and then minus 4 plus 7. What do we get here? This is minus 3, and this is minus 1, this is positive 1, and that's positive 3. And if you check, this is 3, that is 3 times 3, and the answer is 9. This is exactly equal to right hand side. So that one is a solution. Now we try the other solution. Here, remember, there are two solutions. The x equals minus 4 plus or minus square root of 10. So we have x equals minus 4 minus root 10, or x equals minus 4 plus root 10. So I'm going to say when x equals minus 4 minus root 10, we're checking the left hand side again and see if it gives us the right hand side. I'm going to leave the x equals minus 4 plus root 10 to you to check it. But let's check this one. So we're going to substitute this into that space there and simplify, and let's see what if it gives us 9. Left hand side is equal to, so we're taking this into that space like I said. So now we have minus 4 minus root 10 plus 1 in one bracket, minus 4 minus root 10 plus 3, and then we have minus 4 minus root 10 plus 5, and then finally minus 4 minus root 10 plus 7. Now if you check, this is going to be minus 3 plus minus root 10, minus root 10, minus 3 minus root 10, there, the first bracket, right? Let me put this in bracket. That's the first part. This part here, it's minus 1. Remember, minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1, minus root 10. This bracket here, minus 4 plus 5 is positive 1, minus root 10. And finally, the last part is going to be minus 4 plus 7 is 3, and then we have minus root 10. Now, taking us to page 4, just to complete this, I'm going to put the terms containing 3 together and the terms containing 1 together as follows. So this is page 4, just to finish this off, page 4. So what I'm saying is, if you look at this part here, if you look at this part here, we are going to have, allow me to factorize this one, or let me put these two together first. So minus 3 minus root 10, and then I'm going to have 3 positive 3 minus root 10 in one bracket, and then I'm going to put those two together. So we have minus 1 minus root 10 in one bracket, and then we have 1 minus minus root 10 in another bracket. Now this part here, I see difference of 2 squares here, but I have to factorize this part. Factorizing this, you'll agree with me, you have minus 1 open brackets, so you are going to have positive 3 plus root 10, and then you have positive 3 minus root 10. There you have it. That part simplifies to that. Coming here, I'm going to have to factorize this part again, or as well. So let me use bracket like this, minus 1 open brackets, minus 1 into that, you agree with me, to be 1 plus root 10, and then here you have 1 minus root 10. Now watch this part here, difference of 2 squares, we have minus 1, and then we have to have 3 squared minus root 10, we're squaring that, and then we have minus 1, this part here, you're going to have 1 squared minus root 10 all squared. Difference of 2 squares, remember? We can close that bracket there. Now what do we get here? So this is minus 1, this is 9 minus 10, and what do we have? Allow me to use square bracket now. It will be minus 1, and if I say 1 minus 10, what do we have? We have in this bracket here, that will be minus 1 times minus 1, and that over here, we're going to have minus 1 times minus 9. So this is 1 outside here, as you can see, and there it's going to be 9. What is 1 times 9? 9, which is exactly equal to right hand side. So it works. Now this is 4. Remember, here we have 2 solutions. We have x equals minus 4 plus or minus square root of 10. So I checked minus 4 minus root 10. I want you to check x equals minus 4 plus root 10. Make sure it gives you this, because I've checked it, it works. So I want you to also try it, and let's see if you get the same solution. So this is how you approach it. I hope you found that interesting. Very tricky, but it required you to see that because we have too many brackets here, there is no way of expanding that, and therefore you had to use some tricks to reduce the equation into a simple equation that can be factorized, on the left hand side, and you're able to solve it in a very simple way like that, and coming up with our final solution as x equals minus 4 or x equals minus 4 plus or minus root 10. Right, I'm going to stop there. Algebra continues. We'll come with other videos to talk about other challenging equations to solve, but in this one I will stop there. Tell me what you think about this equation. Was it straightforward? How would you have approached it? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. All right, I'll see you in the next one.